Hello, this is Teri. Today, 23rd of May, 2024, and welcome to another share recording of my YouTube channel, Amethyst Astro Tarot, and my podcast, Stars and Cars Chronicles by Amethyst Astro Tarot. And today, I have a lovely guest. She's originally from South Africa, but now she's in Ireland. That's Meg. Some of you may know her as Expat Astrologer. And welcome, Meg. How are you?
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure for me. So let's already start. Who is Meg? Who is Meg? Let's introduce you.
Who's Meg? Okay, so I'm an astrologer who originally from South Africa. My handle, the Expat Astrologer, the reason that I created that was actually because my mom is originally from Canada, and she met my dad abroad in Canada, and they traveled back to South Africa. They had me. We went back to Canada and lived. So my family is kind of dispersed all over the world as a result. Expats, right? We're immigrants or expats. We've traveled a lot as a family. And so when I started astrology and astrocartography, the locational astrology just really intrigued me the most. Like, why do people choose to go to another place? So so I'm exactly what I am. I'm South African living in Ireland, living as an expat myself, trying to unravel and understand more of myself through astrology. And that's a little bit about me.
It's your full-time job, no? You are doing astrology as a full-time job, yeah. That's I think sometimes it's the challenging part, right?
Yeah, so I started off. So I suppose, most astrologers, it's criminal. You have to say your big three, right? So it's Aquarius Sun, Pisces Moon, Aries Rising, and around the time just before my daughter was born, I had this idea in my head that I wanted to make a change. I wanted to change my career, and I had been looking into astrology and really looking into astrocartography for quite a while because it really intrigued me. I moved to Ireland without any connections here. I didn't know anyone. My husband got a job offer. That's what led us here originally, and then it really intrigued me as to why we decided on Ireland of all the places in the world, when I had family in other places that would have made more sense, to move there. And I was working as a marketing person. Marketing is my role. I was a social media manager for a long time in South Africa, and I was a marketing person here in Ireland for a long time too. And I just wasn't really happy. And when I look at my transits, it's really funny. I have Pluto going over my midheaven. It was squaring my natal Pluto. So all of these changes were going to happen whether I wanted to become an astrologer or not. There was something going to happen with my career. And so I went full time a year and a half ago. So it's only new. I feel like I'm still only new full-time astrologer. But yeah, it's a bit of a challenge. It's been a bit of a challenge, learning, a lot of learning.
It's a lot of learning, right? So what do, as you said, learning, what do you do for example, it's only books, or I don't know, like workshops, or combination of all? What are you doing for learning?
Yeah. So I'm currently studying at the London School of Astrology. So I did like a bunch of courses online and a bit of self-study in the beginning. And then I've kind of gone backwards. I was saying to somebody, I learned astrocartography first, and then I learned astrology. And I don't recommend that. Like, I recommend learning astrology first. The basics is really important, and then going back and learning astrocartography. So yeah, I at the moment I'm enrolled in like 3 different courses, some with Kepler College, London School of Astrology. I'm kind of, I've definitely I advocate for online learning, or learning through somebody where you actually have to submit assignments and homework, because I've done the courses where you sign up and you're going to watch it later and you never really do, because you just sign up to another course. I need somebody to say, pay me money and be there at a certain time, or I just don't commit to it.
Exactly, I think the same for me. I mean, because for me it's like that's the discipline. They have to tell me you have to be here watch it, and then I will get the attendance, and also you have to this assignment next week, make that assignment ready, otherwise with daily life it's like, okay, it's like this. I have this pile of sometimes recordings, and none of them watch, and I'm like, oh my god, Terry, the money that also that you give, it's like, yeah, you don't watch, what do you do with that? So now if I cannot be in there, I don't get enrolled in any course, any workshop or anything. I mean, I mean, it's really, I can understand you. I mean, it's meaningless.
Yeah. And I made a decision this year. I have my solar return. My son is in my ninth house, so it makes a lot of sense that I'm doing a lot of studying and learning and everything. And so I have enrolled in all these courses. I have a bookshelf of books, a bookshelf of like books coming out of my ears. Amazon delivery needs to not arrive when my husband is at home, because he's like, another book, really. So I've made a decision that I'm going to read the books that I have before I buy any new ones. So reading books, online courses, that's kind of how I keep going. Astrology is so deep. There's so much to learn. Like, you can entertain yourself for a lifetime learning astrology.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for each subject, each word that we say, there is a book, and then you look like, oh my God, only about this you can learn this much, and then it's like you are shocked. You want to also, you want to like learn more about it, and there's no end. Yeah, it's really like, I think, going down the rabbit hole and not getting out of there anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, also, I mean, for you, I mean, the astrocartography, it's a niche at the end of the day. It's a specialization. And what can you tell about more? I mean, I'm not talking about the technical part, but what is it that like astrocartography helps people in that sense? I mean, why? I mean, for example, I come for a natal chart reading, and you say that, okay, let's do astrocartography in case that someone is not happy, or they want to have a change, or they would like to make sure that they are in a place that they can do this. So in general, how does astrocartography help? How do you combine it with your normal natal chart or annual readings?
I think the reason that astrocartography is so intriguing is sometimes we can look at the natal chart and we can say, well, these are the transits that are currently happening, or this is your life, this is your natal promise. And then for whatever circumstances, sometimes out of their control, maybe their family relocated when they were very young, and they've settled in a place that is now familiar to them, like, but it's not maybe necessarily gelling with their goals or in alignment with their goals. It was mainly out of my own my own selfish reasons for why did my mom, in Canada, find my dad and meet him go to South Africa, and why did we live in South Africa where I was born for a long time, and just intriguing about my own journey in life, that like made astrocartography made sense to me. And so how I help others is when they're feeling like things aren't flowing very well, it's very often a combination of their natal chart, their transits, and then also their astrocartography, where they're living, or the energy that they're flowing with at the time. And astrocartography is it's one technique of like locational astrology. There's local space, there's parents lines, there's progressions, there's transits, just like when you're looking at a normal chart. So you're looking at a lot of different areas in the chart. And I think it does help, like it validates the person's lived experience. I'm feeling this way. Like I just had a client this week who lives on her Venus line, and she saw my post on Instagram about how not everyone loves their Venus line, and why is that? Like because it's due to their their natal chart. And she was like, I'm on this great line, everyone says this is a beautiful line, and I haven't found my community. And I think it really does come down to like understanding the person and what they need, and their goals might be different to what everyone else says they should be doing.
Also, I think it probably helps that now it's more the global, the people can move around much, and I think also they don't mind moving around. I mean, it's like, because it's like, you say like this, it happens that I remember that when I was studying at the faculty, and there was the, I think, solar return, and then it was a, I mean, like, since, I mean, some depends on the astrologer how, of course, they cast the chart of the solar return, because some people think that it's the birthplace, some people think that it's the residence, some people think that it's like where you are at that moment. I think that's where the astrocartography steps in, right? Because sometimes the people require that, yeah, I want to have a solar return, a 1-year theme. This, I mean, I want to have a, like, I don't know, philosophical journey. I want to go to my Neptune line. It's something like that. And I think that's also astrocartography steps in, right?
Yeah. So I mean, so there's so many people that will like try and manipulate their natal chart. Be like, oh, if I move to, oh, I'm gonna have to move to Italy now because that's gonna be a really great year for me. If I go on my birthday and I go to Italy and I just soak up, eat a lot of pasta, drink a lot of wine, and it'll be great for me, a great year. And I suppose you can do that. You can. There are tricks that you can do with astrocartography. I think that the real challenge is sometimes is actually just sitting with the problem that you have. Wherever you go, you take your chart with you. So even if you try and you could try and avoid one car crash and just end up in a plane crash. There's like you're avoiding one thing to go into something else. It's like there is no manipulating.
Yeah, exactly. That's also true. And also there is one thing that is, I remember in the astrocartography lesson that I was taking, and then someone said that they lived in a place so long that now they are thinking that the natal chart, actually located chart, feels like their natal chart, and their natal chart doesn't uh, resemble, like, it's a chart, like I was born, yes, etc., but I lived here for 35 years, so, and it's the same place, so that's relocated chart feels like my natal chart. Do you think that, I mean that was their experience, of course, but do you think that exists, or like, every time someone comes and we see that they live, I don't know, 10-15 years some place, and we have to look into the relocated chart as well?
Yeah. So, no, I don't think the relocated chart. I don't think I think there are signs where you feel more in alignment, and that relocated chart brings out qualities that you're trying to aspire to in your natal chart, but your natal chart is always your natal chart. And the best example that I have is my mom, who has been living in South Africa now longer than she lived in Canada, her birthplace. So she left there when she was 29 on her Saturn return, which is wild. But anyways, left when she was 29, and she's now 70, and so she's been in South Africa longer, and she still says she's Canadian. No matter, you can't ask her, you can't change her mind. She is still Canadian, even though her accent is like slightly faded a little bit, but it's still there. And so it's the same natal chart, still your natal chart, even no matter how many years you live away from your birth location. Yeah.
So that, yeah, that's a good point. I mean because since they told something like that as an experience they had shared, I just wanted to ask if it makes any sense. So how do you then, let's go back to make her daily life astrology. How do you make the balance? What are you doing except astrology? Anything that is intriguing, something that is interests you, your hobbies, and something that you want to share with us?
So I think so. I'm a mom as well. So one of my other titles, I have a 4-year-old daughter. and I have a dog who's he's misbehaving and he's barking at the moment. I'm hoping it's not coming through in the sound. But yeah, so yeah, we've got a lovely family here. We love nature. I don't have a lot of earth in my chart, so I like walking and being out in nature. It feels like it brings me back into alignment. I'm super passionate about astrology. I think my day-to-day is like astrology first, then maybe mom, and then everything else. What other hobbies do I have? Reading books and oracle cards. I have way too many oracle cards. I need, like, tarot is one of the things that I'm really like, I was very intrigued with. I don't do it I'm not as professional as you are, but tarot and oracle cards are just amazing. Like, that's another thing I need to stop myself from purchasing too many of those.
But there are so many nice decks coming out, etc. They are really, you are like, maybe this is the last time, like the buying the books. Okay, this is the last time.
I know.
And then it comes another one, and then you buy. Like the crystals also. I mean, like, I don't understand from crystals at all. And then every time I see, like, you see, I mean, like, around my thing, it's like I have all these things around, and it's like they sometimes ask. The moment that I bought, I knew what it is. But they are nice. They look nice. They feel wonderful. So it's like it's buying.
I know. Yeah, I'm the same with crystals as well. And I've started, my 4-year-old has her own collection now, because when I go to the shop and I buy a crystal for me, I have to pick something for her, because otherwise, if I come home with a very pretty crystal for me, she's like, where's my special stone? Where's my magic stone? So she has a collection and I have a collection.
It's the same for me. I mean, when I buy, let's say I buy things online, then I have to buy for my son and I have to buy for my daughter, because then the package comes, they open, and that's all. That's one. We are 3. Don't you see? It's like they don't even like add their father, but it's like my husband is not included in that. But it's we don't have any crystals. How come you didn't buy for us?
Yeah.
And then they carry it to their rooms and then put it in.
I
It's
love
like
that.
this, no? Yeah, it's like this, yeah. So also in South Africa, no, that they are really good with gemstones. I know that my sister is living in South Africa, by the way. So it's like
Lovely.
and she's in Johannesburg, and I remember that going with my nephews when they were younger. These, some play places, and then you dig
Yes, scratch patch.
the gems, etc. And then they have a full bucket of stuff, etc. You take them home. Yeah.
Yeah, those are called scratch patches. They are really popular. Yeah, they're so much fun. They're lovely, like loads of little rose quartz and garnets, and just like small little gems. It's lovely. Oh, that's so interesting. So you have a tie to South Africa as well. Lovely.
Yes, it's like, it's very funny that when I go there, I don't know, my sister feeds me well or something like that. I always put on a lot of weight in South Africa. And then when I learned, I mean, about all the details of astrocartography, I mean, like the general knowledge, not that I'm specialist, like the basics of astro. But I'm like, is it possible that this Jupiter something going on there, and it's sitting on my ascendant on South Africa? And last year I went there and I told my sister, this time I'm on a strict diet. I'm going against the astrocartography. And she was like, oh, what are you talking about? It's Jupiter there. No, that's why I'm all the time putting on weight here.
But it's
telling,
true. You
yeah.
raise such a good point, and this is the thing with astrocartography is, the TikToks and the reels and everything will say Jupiter, go there, you're gonna win the lotto, but also you can put on weight if you,
Exactly. I was like looking like, oh my goodness, that makes sense. All years, like for example, I put myself on a good diet all year. I lose weight, and then I end up in South Africa. getting like 5 kilos back in 2 weeks. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
But I suppose it's a sign of a really indulgent holiday. Like that's what Jupiter wants. It's just like a lot of
Yeah.
good food, family connections. You're feeling free and excited, and yeah,
Exactly. Also, it's like, the different, like, I mean, here also we have, but it's like, there are lots of options. They also, I mean, I'm originally from Turkey, so there is Greek food and everything. It's like you go like, oh my goodness, like it's like back home, like
yeah,
eating the fetas and everything
yeah,
like
yeah,
that. So it's like, yeah, I think that's why you indulge yourself too much, at least for me, when you go to South Africa.
yeah, yeah. It's so interesting.
And what about Ireland? How do you feel there?
So
Um,
yeah, Ireland is interesting. So I have a Neptune midheaven line that runs like through London, well, just like west of London. So it kind of influences me a little bit. And then I have outside on the west coast of Ireland, I have a Sun Mercury line, and I think the move here actually just moved a few of my angular planets out of angle, so it just took a little bit of the pressure off. So I just kind of shifted my relocated chart, shifted a bit. I don't want to say relocated chart because then everyone thinks that's what I'm using solely, but it does influence. And yeah, everything kind of just changed more to spirituality when I moved to Ireland. And I went through this phase of like minimalizing my material things and letting go of a lot of things and just like reprioritizing ourselves. But my husband, his node line is here, his north node line on his ascendant, and that's where his natal placement is supposed to be. So yeah, so that's kind of like it just brought it closer to him. So he's really just, I think he's kind of been the driving force of the reason why we're here and how we make it work and everything. And he was the one who found the job and got us the visas and all of that sort of stuff. But Ireland for me, it's so green. It's there's so much nature about it. The people are very like similar to South Africa, I would say. Like we've got similar we're interested in similar sports and cultures
yeah,
and stuff like
rugby.
that. Yeah, rugby and English speaking, so it was fairly easy for us to like acclimatize to. That I can't see us leaving because we just seem to be really so much more in alignment to what we wanted to do in life. Versus in South Africa I have a Saturn line, so I suppose this is the one thing. I had a Saturn line where I was born, where I was born. It was on my descendant. And I found it always kind of a struggle. It's like a challenge growing up with that Saturn energy. So I suppose that's probably why I'm like, it feels fresh. It feels like I can think. It feels like I have more space and freedom here in Ireland, but it's probably because I'm further away from that Saturn line.
Yeah, I can understand. Like I have never been to Ireland, though it's, I think, quite near to us. But still, I mean, I'm in Edinburgh, so it's like, yeah, it's it should be nice, but it's like, yeah, I mean, in the past, I mean, I had to take visa. I mean,
Yeah.
even I had residence here. With citizenship, I don't have any problem. But now I think it's like sometimes you get lazy and everything, and then it's like, yeah, home is fine, exactly. Or we visit family, so in the end we end up like flying, I mean, hours away, but not flying like 1 hour
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So it's interesting, yeah.
Yeah, Edinburgh is beautiful because Scotland is also another place that I absolutely enjoy. I think it's such a beautiful country. What line do you have in Scotland? Do you know?
Pluto sitting on my IC.
Oh,
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, partners. I mean, we also came here for my husband's job, so it's like, I think that shifted. Normally, I mean, I have Uranus on my IC, I mean, on my natal chart. So
Okay.
I always say that, yeah, I don't feel that I belong anywhere. I think that's the feeling that I always have the Uranus on my IC. I always think that, like, when I live somewhere, as if I never lived there. I always have that feeling, and that's fine. Move
Yeah.
forward. It's like
Yeah.
this. And then I had Mars on my IC. Later, I found out when I was living in Netherlands.
Okay.
So, and now it moved. As I go back, it's like it's moving Pluto.
Wow.
I mean, it's like it's interesting. Yeah.
It is interesting that all of them are like all the places you've settled have kind of been disturbing or creating some change in your foundations. So your inner foundations, your security or something, but there's those are big
Sense of belonging.
to
Yeah,
have.
exactly. Yeah.
Those are big planets to have, like, and I suppose, yeah, and then it goes back to if you've got natally you know, Uranus on your ascendant, you are always kind of feeling like, you know, a bit of an outsider.
My IC. It's on my IC.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
well, fine. I think you just go along what you have in hand. So
Yeah. Yeah.
wonderful. I mean, in any case, it's Edinburgh is nice. Scottish people are nice. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a nice, I think, place to be in.
Yes.
Also, it's also very, I mean, quite relatively. I don't think so that it should be as green as Ireland, but at least it's quite green here as
Oh
well. I mean, so
yeah.
it's nice. The nature is nice. So all good. So I think I don't think so that it's a good question. It's a challenging question, but where, for example, where do you see yourself in next, I don't know, 5 years, 10 years? What would you be doing? I mean, you are doing astrocartography, astrology, and everything, but what else? Where do you want to be? What is your aim? I mean, except seeing clients, etc., that's fine. But
Yeah.
do you have any ambition in terms of like a scholar? Like, I mean, like bringing something to the community, bringing something also to the, I mean, like wider public. What is your vision?
Wow. Okay. So I would say that so short-term goals this year, I want to launch my first astrocartography course. Like, I want to
Oh,
create a
beautiful.
course. Yeah, so it's been like it's been on the back burner, and I've got all of the writing and all of the ideas created, but I haven't just pushed the button and said yes, I'm doing it. So making that commitment. So this year I've kind of committed to doing that. In like sort of like, I suppose, in just like in life, like I just want to be wherever I am, I just want to be happy. And yeah, I think that's maybe a little bit part of my like journey, is like kind of just softening a little bit. So I've got a Capricorn South Node on conjunct my midheaven, conjunct Venus, and you know, my North Node is in Cancer in the third house, and it really is about maybe sharing my message, but like just more of a softer approach, not so much a goal and hard work and overcommitting myself and reputation and stuff like that. I would love to be part of a community. And I think that's what I love so much about astrology, is the community that I've found, like the friends that I've made here, you know, in this community, just even the ones that are online that I haven't actually met in person, like you know, we've walked past each other in person, but we haven't really, you know, mingled. I just feel like that feels like more alignment. I like the idea of not really knowing exactly what's going to happen in 5 years time. So I don't try and, yeah, kind of think about too much what's going to happen. I just hope that I'm happy. Yeah, I hope that I'm happy, and I hope that my family's well.
Yeah, that's for all of us, of course. Health first, for in every instance, no, that everyone is healthy, so
Yeah,
that we are then all good. Yeah,
yeah,
that's the, I think, biggest thing that we need to wish for.
yeah.
And so, okay, that we said that part. So what you said, that you are working on a astrocartography course,
Yes.
but what else? Do you have any events or anything that is coming up? I mean, like that you can be part of, like speaking or something like that, or you are going to join that the people, and also where people can find you.
Okay, so I mean, they
Which
can
I will leave that note in any case
find me.
under the recording and everything, but still if you tell it here so that the people will know where, if they want to know, I mean, if they want to know astrocartography, there's a course, and if
Yes.
they want to have their chart also there about, and in terms of astrocartography also there's an astrologer for that. So where they can find you and what is happening in the near future.
Awesome. So yeah, so they can find me on Instagram or TikTok. I am trying to be a little bit silly with my reels, so you can come and have a giggle at me dancing on the screen and sharing my astrocartography knowledge on social media. I have a website, the expatastrologer.com. I have several reading packages and availability to sort of look at your natal chart or look at relocation or astrocartography. You don't necessarily have to know exactly where you want to live. I think that's the other thing. Some people don't actually even want to move. They just want to know what, explain to me astrocartography one-on-one. So those sessions are available on my website. Stay tuned for the course. And hey, maybe if I have loads of time, I can write a book, but not for right now. Yeah, I'm always open for chat. So yeah, slide into my DMs and have a chat about astrocartography. That would be amazing.
Great. Yeah, thank you very much, Meg. It was really lovely to chat about you and also astrocartography and your plans and like where you live and how you feel there and everything. I wish all the best, and I thank you a lot for accepting being my guest in my podcast and in my recordings. So also, it was a pleasure to meet you and talk to you, not passing by, but like meet you in person like that, even via Zoom. So it was lovely. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Teri.
I was now thank you everyone for watching us or listening to us today. I will leave Meg's information in the description part of the recordings, and you can reach her via all those links that I will leave. So I wish everyone a lovely day. All the best. Bye bye.